Hello and welcome to Two Girls, One Pod. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Crystal.
I'm not alone this week.
I'm so excited to be back.
Doesn't it feel like forever?
It does. And it's only been like, I guess it's
one
been 2
week.
weeks.
Well,
Too.
yeah, I guess
I wasn't here last
still.
week. It's been 1 week for you by yourself, though.
It's been 1 week of like just me recording. Like, okay, It's been 2 weeks since we recorded together.
Right.
But it's been like 4 days since we saw each other. Like we spent the weekend together.
We did, yeah.
I thought I was muting it. I had to cough.
So for anybody who's not watching, Melissa just choked to death. So now it's just me.
Okay. So anyway, I might as well tell everybody. So when I walked into, I recorded my home office, and when I walked in here to record, it had like an old Jig's dinner smell. So anybody who's not from Newfoundland, it smelled like cooked Sunday dinner. We'll say.
Smells like cabbage.
Yeah, like it didn't smell good. And so I didn't have any spray in here, and I like things to smell nice. So I lit a Palo Santo stick, which is like, I don't know, Google it. I don't want to get into it this week. We talked about crystals last week.
It's basically a piece of wood, and it's like for cleansing crystals.
Yeah. So anyway, I had that here. That was not a good angle. So I have that here, and I lit a piece of it right before we started recording, so it would have a pleasant smell. And I think I'm choking on the smoke a little bit.
And to be fair, not everybody likes the smell of Palo Santo, so
I love it.
But I like it.
Yeah,
we're weird though. You understand that?
Right? We found our strange, I think.
Well, I mean, I have a few things. There's a list.
But I did miss you. I missed you. So we spent the weekend at your cabin.
We did. It was so awesome.
Long weekend, and I had a time. So Scarlett is my daughter, 2 years old. Anybody listening? She's been asking to go back ever since. So like,
no,
whenever we get in the car, because when we came home, she was like, I had a fun time at the cabin, but she says, fun time at the cabin. Right. And I was like, yeah, it was so much fun. And now she just walks around the house going, have fun time at the cabin. I'm like, yeah, but we're not, that means like, I want to go back. I'm like, we're not going back right now, honey. We're not going back right now. So, and she keeps talking about swings and trampolines. So Crystal's cabin is like an oasis.
I'm so happy.
It's totally an oasis. It's like a children and adults paradise.
It is.
Like she's got a pool, which obviously wasn't filled up this weekend, although we could have filled it up on Friday.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a swing set, there's a fire pit, there's an axe throwing station, there's a trampoline,
a big deck, alcohol. There's a hot tub. And like the funny thing is like I make it out like it sounds like this amazing place, which it kind of is in the backyard, but we're still very much in.
Oh, it's still a cabin. It's totally a cabin.
It's 100% a cabin. Like it's not a cottage.
It's not a cottage or like a chalet. It's not a chalet. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the place, but we're not talking like finished carpentry here or anything. We're talking it's pretty rough still for the most part.
But I think that's what adds to its charm, because if it looked like a house, it's not as fun. Like I love the cabin-esque feel of it.
Yeah, and I think like it's kind of it makes people feel comfortable. Like I don't expect you to walk into my cabin and take your shoes off. If you want to, that's totally up to you. But I'm not going to say you need to take your shoes off, because that's just not how I do things. I'm just like, whatever. If you make a mess, we'll sweep it up later. Like it's here to be enjoyed, like not looked at. So that's just
exactly. If anything, I keep like Scarlett's shoes on when we're in the cabin, because like there's so much out and in, and there's usually a plethora of dogs there with us.
Oh yeah.
So even if we all kept our shoes off, the amount of dogs running in and out are going to bring all kinds of like dirt into the floor. So like, it's better to keep your shoes on anyway. And it's comfortable.
It is. Yeah.
I like it. It makes for an easy
departure. Do whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Nobody's worrying about stepping on toes. Like it's just, everybody's comfortable there. It makes me happy that everybody's up there. And
I enjoy it.
Apparently we're talking about jacking it up and adding a basement for more people.
Oh boy. You guys just you're like suckers for punishment. You love all the company. Like if you build it, we will come.
That's kind of how we think of it. You know what I mean? Because like, honest to God, I mean, we were sitting down the other day talking about it, or a couple of weeks ago before the long weekend, and we said, you know, if we jack it up, we can put maybe 2, maybe even 3 bedrooms, and still put like kind of like a garage in under it, because Jason wants to put his Challenger there that he doesn't have yet, but he intends to have.
He manifested it.
He's manifesting it. But yeah, like we figured we'll put a couple extra bedrooms. He's like, listen, he said the Bests and then the Puds, like they're coming up all the time.
We got the regulars.
Right. And he was just like, and the Wisemans are up, and he was like, and everybody's family is growing. And he was like, we need room for them all. And he's like, even if they don't actually have any more children, those children are still going to grow.
Well, okay. So just to paint a picture for all of our listeners, there is you and your husband, you have 3 kids and a dog.
Right.
Then me and my husband came up with our 2 dogs and our daughter. Yep. Then our friends Brad and Jill came up with their 2 dogs and their daughter. Our friends Chris and Pam came up with their daughter and their 1 dog. And then our friends Dwayne and Kayla came up with their newborn twins, and they left their dogs at home because my God, that is a lot to take.
But they were the only ones that didn't stay. So everybody else stayed for the weekend, right?
And I mean, we have lots of friends who do come up for other occasions and stay. So I mean, hey, if he wants to jack it up and add a few rooms, I mean, it's not coming out of my pocket.
Right. A couple of bedrooms won't go astray. But I mean, even down the line, like, the way we kind of talked about it too, is like our kids are getting to be older now. And at some point they're going to, move on. But we hope that they'll come back.
Absolutely. Like the teenage years is usually when you don't want to be at the cabin. Like I grew up going to a cabin, like when I was a kid, every single weekend. Like Friday would hit, Mom would get off work. She'd already have the bags packed and ready, and we would just like hit the country. So we would go to the cabin and we would come back home Sunday. And that was like my weekend, every weekend for my whole childhood. Yeah. And when I became a teenager, I think I was maybe 12. And that's when I didn't want to go up every weekend because I wanted to go hang out with my friends and all this stuff. But then when I got into my early 20s, I was like, I want our cabin back.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to go to the cabin again. So it definitely circles around.
Yeah, I don't know. Ethan mentioned one day, he was like, he said, what do you think about me and my friends going up to the cabin for a weekend? And I was like, I'm going to say that's a hard no.
Yeah, because once you're legal to do things that I know you're going to be trying to do now,
right?
Then we'll talk.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, you can have as many people as you'd like up there, but I'm also going to be there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not an unsupervised cabin just yet.
No, not yet. So, But
yeah, so it feels like I haven't seen you in forever, even though it's been like 4 days.
I know.
It's because we haven't recorded.
It's true. Yeah. And we didn't have like our midweek chat.
Yeah. This is our zone. This is where like we go.
Yep.
Yeah. So how's your week been?
This shockingly, I mean, I guess a lot of times short weeks always feel longer, but this week has actually felt pretty good because I guess I was in training for work this week. So the day went by really fast, and I'm off again tomorrow. So it's like a super short week.
That's really good.
Yeah. But in the meantime.
Okay. We are back. So I had to pause it for a minute because I realized I was in my work chair and it's a squeaky chair. And I was thinking about you listeners and how all you were going to hear is my squeaking. So I changed chairs. Now I'm in an uncomfortable one just for you. Crystal doesn't do that. She has a farting chair.
I'm going to squeak all the time. Like, whatever.
All the same, I'm still squeaking, trying to get comfortable. We may have to edit a little bit out of this episode.
We'll see how that goes.
Anywho, you were saying about your week. You had a shorter than normal week, which is great.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. And I guess like as of last week, we were going to have a chat about the fact that my oldest got his license. So that's very exciting.
So how did that feel? Like when your baby, like your firstborn, he has his license now. He's old enough to drive. Like,
oh my God. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. First off, so he got picked up by his driver, like the teacher, the instructor for the driver's school, because he had to take driver's license in order to get a break on his insurance, which PS is expensive as fuck anyway.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So with the break, he's still spending like $300 a month. It's retarded.
Insane, I was about to say.
It is unreal.
Insane, yes.
But I'm like, you have a job, so that's fine. Anywho, so he goes off with the driving instructor that morning, and I was just like, okay, he's going off for his last lesson, and then at 8:30 he's going for his test. So I had to be there for 9:00 to pick him up because the other guy, the guy had to go do other things.
Oh, for sure.
So Cole conveniently, I will air quote, missed the bus. Is what happened. So he ended up coming over with me because, of course, his school is situated very close to motor registration. Anyway, so we go over and I'm sitting there in the lot and I see Ethan pull in and then go around the thing, and the guy, like the tester guy, is with him. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there going, oh God, I hope he got it. I hope he got it. And I'm like, because I really want him to have it because he wants it so bad, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, I really hope he got it. And then I'm like, but do I really want him driving by himself? This is going to be awful. Like, what am I going to do? Right?
You can't bubble wrap the car.
I know, right? And then I'm like, I might never get my car back. But then I'm like, oh no, it's fine. It's fine. He'll do things for me because he will, right? He's really good like that. But yeah, so I'm sitting there and then he steps out of the car and then he walks into the building with the examiner guy. So I'm just like, oh my God, I think he got it. And I turned around to Cole. I'm like, I think he got it. And then all of a sudden I'm like bawling.
Oh.
And I'm like, what is happening here?
And you're not the crier.
I'm not the crier. So anyway, I mean, I guess I figured out that probably I was PMSing and I'm not really a little bitch.
No, you're a little bitch.
And maybe, I know, it's true. I was being a little bitch. Anyway, so I was like sitting down there and I was bawling. And then Cole's looking at me. He's like, are you crying?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Because Cole's 13, right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, okay, Mom.
He doesn't understand why I'm crying. And I'm just like, there's just like this whole flood of emotions. All I can think, I'm in a glass case of emotion. So anyway, it was a car. Anyway,
oh, deadly.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there like bawling. I'm just like, and then he walks out with this piece of paper and he looks over at me and he shows me the thing, and I'm clearly pretending to hold up the paper where he shows me that he's passed it, and I'm just like, oh my God, he passed. And then I'm sitting there bawling some more. Anyway, I was a friggin' mess, but
that's because that's a huge milestone. Because the thing is, like with our kids, and I'm wondering when it's going to feel different, but I'm like, I still feel like I obviously clearly physically don't feel like I'm 17, 18 years old, but like, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And you're there thinking like, how is my kid getting his license when I can remember getting my license?
I know. Well, that's the thing, right? I can still feel what it felt like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have that feeling still.
Yeah. And now they're experiencing the feeling that you had. And you're like, no. Enough time has not passed for this to be happening.
It was just like a blink. And I don't even know where it happened. And then I guess, I mean, Cole only just turned 13. So I'm just like, well, he entered into teenagers. That was last month. And then Wednesday, sorry. My daughter turned double digits. And I'm just like, that's it. It's over now. Because once she hit double digits, then all of a sudden it's 13. Then all of a sudden it's 17.
She's a preteen now. She's not a kid. Yeah.
So funny story, because it was her birthday on Wednesday. She comes home from school and she's just like, so I have to tell you, Mom, me and Carter are dating again. And I'm just like, cool.
10 years old.
Right. And like, just as a little backstory, they, I guess, like fell in love.
Okay.
Again, back when they were in like, I don't know, grade 2 or something. So she actually went on a first date with him to an Edge game once upon a time.
I remember that.
It was like his mom brought them on a date. It was the cutest thing ever. Anyway, so he stops over yesterday to give her a present. So and I'm like listening from behind the door,
of course.
Right? Like you would.
You had to.
And I knew he was coming, but she didn't know. So he knocks on the door and then she goes and answers and she's like, oh, hi. And he's just like, hi. He's like, I wanted to give you this for your birthday. He's like, I wanted to come on your birthday, but he was like, my mom had a headache, so I couldn't come until today. So he's like, here's a balloon. And then he's like, here's a present. And then also here's this, like, it was like a hot chocolate bomb kind of thing.
Oh.
And because his mom makes them too. Mm-hmm. And she's standing there, she's like, wow, thank you. And then he goes, so this is awkward. Okay. And she goes, yeah, it is. And then he goes, okay, bye. And then runs away.
Oh, kids are amazing.
Literally the funniest thing. So I was just back there giggling away.
Yeah. So was she excited? That like made her night.
Oh man, she came upstairs and she put the stuff on the table and she looked at me and she was like, it was Carter and he brought me a birthday present. And I was just like, yeah, I know. And she goes, see, he's the sweetest. That's why I'm dating him.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Like, what is a date for a 10-year-old? What is your date? Where are you dating at recess? Like, do you hold hands in the cafeteria?
I'm guessing. I mean,
oh
I'm
my
not allowed to hold hands though, really, because COVID.
Oh yeah, you can't even hold hands. So you just look at each other 6 feet apart.
Basically, right? It's like we socially distance date.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is the sweetest thing. I think I absolutely love that. Like having kids is a trip.
It is.
Like it is a wild ride.
They're legit. I mean, you know, I know it's like common sense, obviously. They're actual little humans. Yeah. But then when they all have their own like personality and like it starts to come out, it's just, I don't know, there's something to it. It's just amazing.
Well, like Scarlett is this little comedian.
She's like hilarious.
She does things, and it's not just like, she's not just funny because she's a kid and like kids are funny.
Yeah.
She puts on a show. Like she'll walk in a room and you'll be talking to her and she goes, what? And then pretend to fall down because she knows it's going to get a reaction. Yeah. Like she just does these crazy things. And I'm like, where do you get that? Like, I'm always up for a laugh, but like it's in her blood.
It is.
Like,
yep.
I don't know. And I said to Drew yesterday, I think we were having breakfast and I was like, you know, what's really funny? When I got pregnant and when we were talking about getting pregnant and like trying and all this stuff, it was like, I want to have a baby. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like, you're like, oh, I'm so excited. Like when I got pregnant, it was like, I'm going to have a baby. And I kept thinking about the baby and what happens in like the first year. I literally did not think past 12 months old. Like you just don't, because you just think, oh, I'm going to have a baby. And that's what you're focused on.
You think of this cute little package.
Yeah. And now like you obviously know that they're going to grow up and get older, but now she's 2. And she's getting her own little personality and she's saying these things and she's stringing together sentences and having conversations with me. And I'm just like, this is fucking fun.
Like, it is. Like that toddler age is so much fun. And like the stuff that they say and the fact that they repeat, like, obviously, I mean, everybody's seen our Instagram where here she is saying all kinds of stuff.
These fucking shoes. I'm like, but it's good because Drew said it first because I'm this, like, we both swear. We clearly need to work on it. But we both swear a lot. And it's funny because I figured that I was going to be the one that she would start copying because she copies everything I say.
Yeah.
But the fact that he said it and she immediately said it after, and I was like, what's daddy got you saying?
It's on you.
I can throw it to him.
Right.
But
in all honesty, like realistically, you know me, you've been around me since most of my children have been very
babies.
Small.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never censored myself in front of the kids. Now, have they repeated it when they were toddlers? 100%. But they also are fully aware of the fact that they can't use those words.
Exactly. And when they're toddlers, it's just funny. I'm not going to try to shame it out of her. Like mostly I'm trying, the hard part for me is trying not to get her to say it again. Cause I'm like, okay, if I ignore it, she's not going to keep repeating it because she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
But like, I want to be like, what did daddy tell you? Because it's fucking funny. I'm sorry. Children who curse are hilarious. Hilarious.
The funny thing is like, but even when they start to use it, like, don't get me wrong, I don't condone children cursing. What I'm saying though is that I do. But what I am saying is that when they say it and then they use the correct context, I'm just like, That's fucking right.
So the funny thing about Scarlett today is that Drew was putting on her socks and he was like, as he's putting, they're like difficult to put on. I don't know, something. And he's putting on her socks and he said, man, these fucking socks. And as soon as he said it, she goes, fucking socks. And I was like, oh my God. So I start fucking laughing and I go to get my camera to record it because she's just on repeat. And then it didn't work. So then he was putting her shoes on her. And I'm like, what's daddy putting your shoes over? Trying to get her to say fucking socks again. And she goes, these fucking shoes. And I'm like, whoa. Not only did she say it again, she said it with a different thing. And in the right context, I was like,
right.
So
you are so smart.
I was so overjoyed. I was like, look at my little skeet. Look at my little skeety baby.
Yeah, but like, in all honesty, I mean, it's funny, and they're only going to say it for a little bit until they realize that it's not a nice thing. And you can't reason with them the same way at this age as you can in a year's time.
She's
right?
Even 3, even like 4, as long as she's not in kindergarten, be like, do you know that I can say the word fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean,
that's fine.
Here's the thing. In kindergarten, I got a phone call from Harper's kindergarten teacher, very concerned about the fact that Harper told her that after recess play, she was playing with a couple of boys in the classroom, and they were playing zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I guess Harper was shooting the zombies and, being like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, what you're supposed to do when there's zombies around, basically.
Kill the zombies.
You kill the zombies.
Yeah.
Anyway, her teacher calls me and she's like, I just wanted to give you a call and let you know what happened during lunchtime. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, Harper was playing with a couple of the boys and it was getting a bit rough because they were playing zombies. And then when I asked her where she learned that, she said that she watches The Walking Dead all of the time. And I was just like,
5 years old.
That's not true.
Yeah.
A, because she doesn't. B, her brother watches it. I was talking about Ethan at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, her oldest brother watches it. They do tend to play zombies.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Learning how to play. She's learning that they kill them, but not from the show.
Right. And quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, if you're not teaching these children how to kill zombies at this age, those children aren't going to survive.
What are you paying? What are you getting paid for? Right. Your job is to train my child on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. That's
life skills here. Life skills.
I can't even get into how many life skills need to be taught in school that aren't.
Right?
I mean, that should be right up there with that should be right up there with finances.
I think so.
Like, why am I learning about I'm not even getting into it. I don't even remember to use a good example. So fuck that.
Yeah, I know, man. I hear you.
Oh my God, that's so
like
funny.
Guess what? I don't need to know where Bulgaria is. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But I do need to know how to file taxes.
All the same. All the same. I can't say I don't need to know where things are because me and you discussed it on a Big Brother episode that we were watching, and I don't even remember what they had to do because it's gone that fast, but they had to like look at a map and figure out where the capital cities were. Is that what they had to do?
Yeah. But
of the provinces. And I was like, I don't even know where the provinces are.
I do in Canada, but like the rest of the world, I'm completely oblivious to, except for like California and Nevada. Also, I know where Florida and Mexico are.
See, I don't know. I can pick out Newfoundland anywhere. Like I watch SNL all the time, and Michael Che's head is always right next to Newfoundland. Because I'm always like, he'll be talking, and like I keep seeing Newfoundland like up behind his ear a little bit, and it's really small. And then he'll move, and it'll be gone. And then he'll move again, and I'll be like, "There's Newfoundland. There's Newfoundland." But I feel like all Newfies do that. Like, do you when you see Newfoundland in something, are you like on a map or whatever?
I'm like, hey, that's us.
Yeah, I'm like, this Newfoundland. That's where I'm from. But anything else, I don't fucking know. But yeah, I see us all the time, and I love it.
Do you think people from other provinces do that, or is it just Newfies?
I don't know because like, I mean, maybe, but so many provinces are just shaped like a fucking like rectangle. Like Like,
and like in
ours
reality,
is like a
there's
giant
no
finger and it
actual
has like
border.
yeah, like like Newfoundland looks like a fucking like hand with it looks like a loser. It looks like if you're doing like the loser shape with your hand, but then there's like a little boot. Like this is Newfoundland.
Right.
For anybody listening, just Google Newfoundland and
Yeah,
on a map. I don't know how to do it. Anyway, you'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can check. Maybe we'll upload what we're talking about onto our Instagram, and you can scroll and see it. Yeah,
we could do
and
that.
They can know what we're talking about.
They could be like, "Hey, that's them."
All the same, we've said that we were going to upload some stuff. Like, I wonder how many people actually went back and looked for our after pictures when we said we were going to do The Biggest Loser.
P.S. They're not there because we look the same as before.
Didn't do them. Spoiler alert. Still the same. Actually, I'm a little fluffier than I was back then because I started eating a lot of fucking chocolate, and then we went to May 2-4. Actually, so yesterday, okay, so I've been back and forth a little bit. You and I talk a lot about we have very similar backgrounds health wise, like with our on our father's side, there are bad hearts in the family. Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked to Steve Callahan, and he told us about his heart attack that he had. And he's like, when he had his heart attack, he was like in pretty decent shape. I used to work out with him. He was like doing like a boxing class all the time. He said he was eating well, but we all know that what we say we're doing and what we're actually doing is not always the same thing. But he said he was eating well, and we found out after that a lot of it was, lifestyle. He was still having like too many treats, we'll say. So I'm still eating terribly, like terribly. I just eat whatever I want when I want, and I binge eat a lot. Yeah. And yesterday, so I've been breathing heavier lately, not all the time, randomly. And I exercise a lot, but I don't exercise, I walk. Like I walk, I've been habit stacking. Like we've talked about this a lot. Like, so I'll get up in the morning and I'll walk, but I'm still not really at I'm still not into the habit the way I say I want to. And the reason that I say the way I say I want to is because if I really wanted to, I'd just fucking do it. Yeah. Right. So, the way I say that I want to, I'm still not at that level yet. So anyway, yesterday I was there and I was finding out I was getting really winded. And then I was sat down here working at one point and I was getting like fucking crazy chest pains, but that's not unusual for me.
No, me either.
Yeah. I always get chest pains, but I don't always get them like, sometimes I get them right here, but a lot of times too, I'll get them like on the side or like under my boob.
Under your boob?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, is this where my heart is? Cause I don't fucking like I know it's in this general area, but I got a lot of coverage.
That's it.
Like they're not small boobs. They're there. So I'm like, I don't know where it is. No, anyway, so I know that it's on that side, and I was getting like a lot of pain, but it went away. So then I was thinking like, okay, I'm just going to monitor this. And then I started thinking about Steve, because he had said that he was feeling breathless a lot. And that he was like, his chest felt cold. So it didn't feel cold. Anyway, long story short, it was gas. And that happens a lot to me too. So I found that like it started shooting, but then it was like going to my stomach. And then I had a few farts last night. So I know that it was a gas thing and it wasn't a heart thing, but it did have me thinking, like at one point, like I called Drew because I was out showing houses and stuff. And I was like, can you just check to make sure that we have aspirin? Because I was like, at least if I feel weird later, I can choose some aspirin, I'll go to the hospital, whatever. But like, I also thought that it was gas and I didn't really want to make too big of a deal and overthink it. And then I thought, okay, the fact that I'm even having these thoughts should be a lesson that I need to just fucking stop with the garbage food. I need to exercise regularly and like actually exercise. Like for me, walking, it's great. I'm getting steps in. And I think I'm kind of pre-trained to that way of weight loss, quote unquote, from our bodybuilding days.
See, and that's where both of us kind of differ on that side of things, because you had a lot of like low intensity cardio that you were required to do. Cause I mean, you used to like walk for almost like an hour a day, didn't you?
I started at an hour a day. So 16 or 20 weeks out, whatever it was before my show. I had like 30 pounds to lose before my show. Like it was significant. And I would walk uphill on incline at like level 9 or 8 or something like ridiculous, as fast as I could walk, but with it being able to hold a conversation. So I couldn't be breathless, but I like, it just had to burn, we'll say. And I had to do that for an hour every morning, fasted before I ate food. So every morning I'd get up at like 5, get ready, go to the gym, walk for an hour, come home, shower. And then on my lunch break, I would do weights.
Right.
So it was a 2-a-day thing. And then as I got closer to the show and like my weight and my fat and everything wasn't where it needed to be for the stage, I had to increase the cardio and then decrease carbs and food.
Right.
So like
Right.
I got really fucking messed up in how to lose weight and what you're supposed to eat and like all of this stuff. And I feel
you know
like
how to lose weight for a show.
Exactly. But even that, I still haven't even been doing that because I'm just I think when I start, I get into that panic mode of like, you're not going to eat delicious foods again. Cause I was in a full starvation diet, we'll say. Like
100%.
it was not a healthy lifestyle. It was not healthy food. People always say to me like, oh my God, do you ever miss that? And I'm like, no, I was cold all the time. Like I had fun doing the show and I'm not going to sit here and say I would never do one again. Cause I probably would. I'm a person who likes to set goals. I like to achieve them. I like to have something to strive for, fitness, whatever. So, but I feel like my fitness issue is that I'm doing that kind of exercise, like this uphill walk, where I really want to increase it and do some high intensity, intervals for my cardio, or like, get out bike ride again, or like do some weight training, some HIIT training. Like I've got the weights and stuff here. And anyway, so I think what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, today I didn't really get a lot in. I slept in. Anyway, tomorrow morning I'm going to do a shoulder workout and I'm going to hit the treadmill. So I'm like, okay, that's a start. If I can incorporate weights back in, that's a start. And I feel like I need to be doing better heavy cardio for my heart. So if I can do some intervals, jog a little bit, because I don't think I'm doing the right exercises, and I need to quit with the junk food.
Oh man, I know. Now, granted, I will say that I did well the weekend, considering I was actually surprised by myself.
You went for a run. You looked at me and you're like, do you want to come for a run? I was like, no.
Right.
No. And you went for a jog. And I was like, I was so proud of you.
Well, and not only that, like, don't get me wrong, like it wasn't in relation to like anybody being around, but my head needed it just because I hadn't been for a run or a workout since Tuesday, and this was Saturday. So like I feel it in my anxiety level when I go say a couple of days without it, that my anxiety kind of creeps up. And full disclosure, I was on my period, so I was a bit of a fucking bitch anyway.
Well, if it helps, I didn't find you bitchy at all, like at all. Well, but you like me.
Yeah, no, and I think like I mean on a general basis, I don't think that I was, but I can get a bit
bitchy. Irritable,
bitchy, maybe irritable. I could more be like snappy,
right? I get like
you know what I mean, like just really quick. And so, and I definitely needed it. And then of course afterwards, you saw my face, I was like, redder than a tomato. It was bad. But it was hot too.
But it also looked refreshing. Like that's the thing I find with a run, like, or even a workout, like an intense workout, like getting up, going for a walk. Honestly, I've been kind of like hooked on that because I get a lot of work done. So like I'll get up at 5 or 6 a.m. and I'll walk for an hour on the treadmill, but the whole time I'm there, I'm working and I'm getting a lot done, and it kind of sets me up for my day. So it's hard to kind of venture away from that. But I'm also like, on a health level, I need to do more than that because I need to get the exercise and everything. And like, it's always a big lead up and I don't want to do it. And it's so much work to get done. But then after the workout, I feel amazing.
So good. Yeah.
Like you feel incredible.
I looked awful, but I felt deadly. And like, then I was sweating for like a long time afterwards. I got in the shower and then I was still sweating.
Always. It's that's the difficult thing too with like working out in the morning. It's like you want to work out before you get ready for work, but especially coming up in the summer, you'll work out and then it's like, okay, well, I get a shower, but the shower is just going to make me stickier.
Yeah.
Like you almost need to like rest your body first.
You do. You need to cool down first in order to do it. And like this morning, for instance, I didn't have time to jump in the shower after my workout. So I went to the gym and I got back, and then I had to go right into mom mode, getting everybody ready to go to school and stuff and packing lunches and that fucking garbage. Anyway.
I saw your post today.
I'm just like, what are you people gonna eat here?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want this. And I don't want that. And you can't use a microwave because of COVID. And then besides that, even if it wasn't COVID,
You
they're
can't
not
use a
allowed
microwave because of COVID at school?
Oh, yeah, but before that, there was another excuse. You can't use a microwave because, there's too many kids. Nobody cleans up the mess. That I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense.
I'm just like, listen, my kids can't have a hot lunch. Nobody can bring this, that, the other thing, 5 million other fucking things because of stupid allergies. And like, yes, do I understand that obviously your child who has an allergy doesn't want to be exposed
to death.
But if it's airborne anaphylaxis, 100% I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But why is your kid touching my kid's food anyway? If my kid brings in a fucking kiwi, you're not going to go into anaphylactic shock. What's going to happen is you're going to get a rash. So don't touch my fucking kid's kiwi.
I agree. Okay, so because I'm not at the school stage yet, so I didn't realize that the restrictions were like that crazy.
Oh, bad. Like, and depending on the school, there was one year where you couldn't send in strawberries, kiwi, bananas, latex, which is related, I think, to either the banana or the kiwi, something along those lines.
I've got questions.
There's peanuts and tree nuts, chickpeas. You can't send hummus. Egg.
Insane.
Egg.
And they're not, but like, are they all airborne? Like you said, if it's airborne, it makes sense. But like that just seems like too much.
Most of it's either skin contact, in which case it's like dermatitis.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, even if it is like it's generally an ingested allergy, and it's like, well, don't
Why
come
are you
and
eating it?
eat my kid's food. Like, and
I mean, I can understand
now,
at like a younger age, 4, 5, 6. That's still a little bit touchy. They don't really understand, but like 10, 11.
Well, I kind of look
13.
at it like, at the age of like, say, primary, so grades kindergarten to 3. That to me seems like okay, well, obviously, maybe they don't understand it quite the same, but once you get to like elementary and junior high and high school, it shouldn't be a big deal. You know what I mean? But like, no joke, Cole could live on bread and Nutella, and quite frankly, he doesn't fucking like anything else. The kid doesn't like peanut butter. He doesn't like condiments. So like if I make him a sandwich, he's not eating mayonnaise on it. Like legit, a ham sandwich for Cole is toast and ham. The end. He doesn't like cheese, nothing.
Oh my God, that's so difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to make 3. Well, 5 really, because you're like, I'm assuming you're making Jason stuff and then you're making your own.
God. Well, I mean, the good thing about Jason is that he'll eat leftovers, which is fantastic, because I'm like, whatever I make from Sunday to Wednesday is your next day's food.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, but then I can't send on any of that with the kids either.
No,
because they can't warm it up.
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. And here I am complaining like Scarlett's daycare gives her all the food. Like,
right.
I have to give her breakfast and supper.
And I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to offend anybody here. And I'm not trying to be like, okay, I'm a fucking asshole because my kids don't friggin' have any allergies.
No, you are.
Yes, I am. Right? No, but like, I'm really not. But what I'm saying is that at some point there has to be a level of responsibility too. Like at a certain age where they're like, why is your kid shouldn't be eating my fucking kid's food?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know what I mean? And most of them will. Now, I understand peanut and tree nut allergies. A lot of them can be airborne. So you definitely have to tread lightly on that one. I'm not saying we should be able to send fucking peanut butter to school because that's obviously an issue. But if we're going to say, okay, well, somebody has an ingested egg allergy, well, then don't eat my kids' eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like you're going to get to the point where everybody's just going to eat cardboard.
Well, it's kind of like, okay, well, if I can't send all of these fruits, well then, but that's all the fruits that my kid eats.
Exactly.
What's my options here?
Then you're stuck. Cupcakes.
Yeah. Right. So now.
And then you can just roll your kid into school.
Exactly. So now I'm just going to send in all of this prepackaged fucking garbage just so that they have something to eat.
Yeah. All right, so we just had to stop so Crystal could yell at her children because they were being too loud. This is real life shit, people.
Seriously, man.
You get real conversation. You hear kids in the background. You don't hear
You're in the middle of my life.
So I guess it's really not real life shit because we didn't hear you yell at them, but one day.
I could reenact it if you'd like.
Actually, it was funny. I kind of wish I kept recording because you muted yourself and I couldn't hear you. But if I had to keep recording, then everybody who watches on YouTube could have saw you like, and the word, because it was so like a sitcom. Like you turned your head and you're like, turn off the fucking show or whatever you were saying, but you were just like, bah, 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 and you could see like your face, like you could mimic the swear words.
Yeah.
And it would have been like one of those episodes of a sitcom where like, I don't know, a big loud truck drives by and beeps its horn as someone's like swearing. So you can't hear what they're saying, but you can see that they're swearing. And I love that.
Yeah, you could have done like a little voiceover.
Oh my God, like America's Funniest Videos. Remember that? Right. Bob Saget would be like, oh, what are they going to do now? Oh no, does it need head?
Oh so God. Good. Yeah.
So you mentioned, so I got to talk about anything I was going to talk about with you last week by myself to the camera.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And you had mentioned that you had a story that you were going to share. So what was your story that we were going to talk about last week?
So, okay. This Monday of last week, I get up and I'm like, all right, perfect. So just as a kind of like a jump ahead, it was actually a good day. So that day, okay, I wasn't 100% sure when it started, and I'll tell you why in a second. So It turned out to be a good day because that was the day I actually got a phone call from my oldest son's psychologist to tell me that they were going to perform the psychoeducational assessment that I've been trying to get done on Ethan for his ADHD and suspected learning disability. I've been trying to get this done since he's been 9, literally. So, you know what I mean? It's 8 years that I've been trying to get the schools to do it. And I've been met with roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. So it actually turned out to be a fantastic day, which again, I cried about that as well. So again, I'm chalking it up to the PMS. Mm-hmm. So
little bitch.
Yeah. So PMSing and, so that was also Monday, which will bring me back to what happened in the morning. So in the morning, I get up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up and go to the gym. So the alarm goes off 10 to 5. I'm up. I get up. I brush my teeth. I go pee. I get dressed, get my shit together. And then I'm driving to the East End because I have to go to the East End on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the 5:30 class. And I'm like, oh, man, it's a nice day out. I'm like, it's kind of warm. The sun is already out at like 5 a.m.
That's been amazing.
Fucking loving it. So I'm like loving life. I'm like, yeah, Motivation Monday. And I'm driving down the highway. Everything is going fantastic. And suddenly a bunny runs out from the side of the road. So the bunny runs out from the side of the road and I'm like, oh no, little bunny. And then I start to brake and then I swerve to try to avoid the bunny, but then he backtracks. And I ran him over.
No, Crystal.
All I heard was boom. And I was just like, so you know what happened, don't you? Sorry, my dog just came by. I cried the rest of the way to the gym. The whole way to the gym. Like I legitimately was just after passing by like the Thorburn Road exit, cried all the way to the East End.
What a day you had.
And all I could think was, I was like, well, this is it. It started off to be a good day and the rest of this day is going to be fucking garbage.
You killed bugs.
Man, I was so sad.
That would make me sad too.
Oh, and then I called Jason, but he was getting ready to friggin' like leave and go to work. So he was all in a rush and he answered the phone. He's like, what? And I'm just like, I just killed a bunny. And he's like, all right, Crystal, I gotta go.
He's like, scrape it up and make some stew. Like, bring it home.
I'm not even joking when I tell you, like, I legitimately got out of the car and I was figuring for sure I was going to see like dead meat on my fucking my wheel. But it was clean.
Yeah, because you sped off. It probably flew. All the guts flew behind you.
Oh my God, man! I was legitimately so distraught. I was driving down the highway and my face was covered in tears. It was just streaming down, and I was just like,
like so why awful. Me? Oh my God! Yeah, maybe it was a little bit of PMS.
I think it was. I mean, between Friday crying and then Monday crying about that and then the testing thing, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a little bitch. That didn't happen.
Well, I mean, you're kind of a little bitch, but like, that's legitimate PMS.
I'm just saying, it just feels like I had a lot of feelings for somebody who doesn't have any feelings.
But you don't know that. Bunnies could feel love. I'd like for some of our listeners to email us and let us know if they think that bunnies feel love and if they think you're a horrible person or not.
I mean, I already know.
Just to see. Maybe we'll put an Insta poll up and see if people think that you're terrible for killing a bunny who obviously had a family and he was probably just going out to get some exercise.
Oh man. And
I'm awful.
It was so bad though, because I was like, no, I'm gonna swerve to avoid him so then he can avoid this whole thing. And then the fucker decides that he's gonna backtrack. And I'm just like, you stupid
rabbit though. Maybe he was like, he was done and he was trying to end it. Like maybe there was nothing you could have done because he was going to step in front of your car regardless. He was like,
seemed pretty
I'm out.
So then
yeah,
later when I go upstairs after I got the call about Ethan, I go upstairs and I tell Ethan, I was just like, yeah, it's like, so this is happening. And I was like, you're finally going to get your assessment next week. And like, not realizing Harper was sitting right there. And I'm just like, you're finally going to get your assessment next week. And I was like, and here I was thinking this morning that because I killed a bunny, it was going to be a shit fucking day.
What did Harper say?
And Harper's just like, I turn around and she's just like, and Ethan goes, don't worry. It's just a figure of speech.
Oh, he's quick.
Yeah, except that then the next day I hear her FaceTiming with her friend. And she's just like, yeah, so yesterday something weird happened. She's like, Mom was talking to Ethan and telling him something. And then she said, yeah. She's like, and then I thought that killing the bunny was going to be a bad thing. And then she was like, but it was a figure of speech. I don't know what it meant, but that's what they said.
Oh my God. The whole elementary school is going to be going around saying, so yesterday I killed a bunny. It turned out to be a good day.
I'm just like
using that in our own speech. Like,
all the time.
Kill a bunny though, but did you kill a bunny?
Right, it's gonna be like Jumping the Shark was for like Happy Days. You don't know what I'm talking about. Fuck.
I'm way too young for that, Crystal.
Okay.
I know what it means because I've seen it in other sitcoms making fun of it, but like, I didn't see it.
You didn't see the Fonz jump the shark? Like he legitimately
did it. You know what my first introduction to Happy Days was? When I got my PC, like probably Windows 95.
Right.
Or 96. I don't know how old this music video is, but the Weezer music video was preloaded to my PC computer.
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly. So the Buddy Holly Weezer music video was the first thing I've ever seen that had anything to do with Happy Days.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was probably about 8, 10. Like how old was that song?
God, if it was not.
It's funny because like you think about it, I'm like, you have to check. Because that song doesn't seem that old to me. But at the same time, when I think about it, I'm like, that was like my Windows 95 or 98. It might have been 98. Okay, but either way, I remember being like, my dad was like, look, this computer has music videos on it. Like, I'm pretty sure we didn't have the internet. Like it was just on the computer.
1994, which basically means that I would have been 12.
Hang on.
I was in junior high. That sounds right.
I was 6.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a fun little trip down memory lane.
That was a fun tune. That was a great song too.
It was.
And the video was good.
Oh yeah. So that's how I found out about Happy Days. I didn't know about Happy Days until then. But since then, yes, I have heard about Fonz and the shark.
Yeah, because he like legit jumped a shark on the show.
And he's like skis,
fucked up.
Water skis.
Yeah. So that was a good story. Anyway,
isn't there like
killed the bunny?
Isn't there like a comic? You're a comic fan, so you're gonna know this more than I would. But isn't there something to do with like maybe it's Batman?
Yeah, Batman too. So Batman from like the 60s from the show.
Yeah.
There was like a really old show in the 60s.
Did he spray the shark or something?
Yeah, there was like shark spray.
And shark repellent.
Yeah, shark repellent.
I remember my brother. So I did used to watch that show because like I'd watch
It's a great show.
Syndication
Used
or
to be on
whatever.
YTV.
Yeah. So I mean, that was like the best. I remember mom loved it because of like, I guess the thwack,
Boom,
boom,
swack.
bash.
Yeah, it's great.
So mom used to watch that all the time and I used to watch it too. And but I remember my brother told me about that because he's like a huge comic, like I get he doesn't I don't think he really he doesn't like read comic books, but he like knows about like the comics.
Yeah.
So he's anyway. So he told me all about that. And I remember being like, oh, shark repellent. Cool.
Shark repellent. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story.
Adam West.
My favorite part about Adam West is when he came back in with like Family Guy.
Oh my God.
As himself.
So great.
Like classic, but
well, yeah. I think that's about all I had for today.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do for the next week, I think I'm going to move forward with like health and fitness goals. And I'll probably try to start posting a little bit more on the pod about it, which it's difficult because I don't like work out and then think maybe I'll record myself right now. Like, and then after I try to take a selfie and I always hate them. I'm like, oh my God, this is not a fun selfie.
I mean, like the only thing I can post is like what happened in my workout. Cause like, number one, we're not even allowed to bring phones into the studio. So.
Right. Yeah. So you're not going to like take selfies while you're like jogging.
Yeah, no, it's unlikely. And quite frankly, this morning's workout was killer. So I don't know that I would have been able to.
True. Okay. Well, I might start that squat challenge that you sent me. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to say I will officially.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
We didn't do it, but maybe we'll look it over and we'll see. Cause I think I'm just going to start on like a regular routine. So like leg day, shoulders, chest, back, like whatever. And just start just being healthier, being more active. And maybe I'll start holding myself accountable by posting that on our Instagram.
I need to start doing yoga or like some type of stretching. That's what I really need to do.
I'm with you there actually. Cause like my hips will pop out of socket so fast.
Yeah.
Like it's, you don't realize what a problem it is until you're having sex. And then you just get stuck in a position because you're like, wait, my hip. And you're like, I'm 32. Why is this bothering me? So maybe yoga is a good idea too.
Yeah, maybe.
For alleged hip getting thrown out of place during sex.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe there could be some physio situation that you may want to look into as well.
Well, I definitely have like a shoulder thing.
A lot of people have like a displacement of their hips from like their pelvic area.
No, I was like it before.
Oh, well, in that case, I can help you.
I need to stretch. I just need to stop being a couch potato, eating couch potatoes.
Yeah, I hear you. And this week hasn't been my best week, honestly. I kind of like sucked up.
You've been doing
great. But I sucked up my $13 twice this week, and I'm like extra on top of my gym membership that I late canceled.
Oh, okay. So just clarify, because I was a bit confused that time. So clarify for our listeners.
So like generally I have to book classes. So I pay a monthly fee. I have unlimited classes. And if I cancel before 8 hours before the start time, then I'm fine. Then I can cancel it. But if I cancel within the 8 hour prior to the workout start time window, I get charged another $12 in tax. So $13.80.
Crazy. That's super expensive.
It keeps you accountable. But on a general basis, it keeps you, because you're just like, well, I can't cancel now because I don't want to spend $13. But this week was actually mayhem week, and I did cancel because I was just like, I looked at the early intel on Reddit for Orange Theory, and I was just like, that workout looks like it's going to be fucking hard, and I don't want to do it. And I was actually going to go yesterday, but then Harper woke up at 5 a.m.
Right.
Wednesday, because it was her birthday. And I was like, well, I can't really go if you're not going to stay in bed because.
Yeah, well, exactly. She needs to be like looked after.
Yeah. Somebody needs to watch you. So.
Okay. Well, good week. It was so nice to talk to a person again. Loved it. So and we keep forgetting to tell our listeners, like, share, comment, email, tag, subscribe, download.
Send us a message.
Yes, we want to hear from you. If you have questions, I'd love to answer fan questions in like an actual episode and not just through Instagram and stuff. That would be fun.
That would be super fun.
Maybe we could start like putting questions out on Insta to save for our pod and we can answer it on this.
We could. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to get some feedback from people because, or if there's something that you'd like for us to talk about, maybe we have knowledge about it and maybe we don't have knowledge, but we know somebody who does. In which case, then, we can definitely hook you up on that side of things as well.
We could be like, ask the mommies or ask the ladies.
Yeah,
ask us some questions. I mean?
Yeah, ask us anything. We're pretty open.
That's fucking understatement.
Right.
Like,
yeah. We'll talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, either way, make sure that you subscribe to us. And we're pretty much wherever you can listen to your podcast. I mean, we're literally everywhere.
All over the place. And if there's a place we're not, tell us and
let us know.
We'll go there. We'll be on it.
Yeah. We'll be there. Yeah.
And we're on YouTube as well. So follow us on everything and tune in every Friday for a fresh episode Friday every week.
Always with the new content.
So on that note, I'm going to set this up and play us out. Bye.
Bye.
And I will just say I'm always dancing offbeat to that. Bye.